Congressman Tim Ryan and Congressman Brendan Boyle if they would like to add a word.
Just speak for a moment. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle. I'm from Pennsylvania. It's an honor to be here. Thank you. All right, we have one Pennsylvanian here at least. Honored to be here with Marcy Kaptur and Tim Ryan from the House and Bernie Sanders from the Senate. I'm just going to speak brief, and I'm not going to speak about myself. I'm going to speak about my dad, along with my mom, the main reason why I'm here. My dad, as I was telling someone earlier, was an Acme Markets warehouseman with Teamsters Local 169 for 25 years. For the last 15 years, he's been a janitor. He would still be in that warehouse today, coming up on his 40th year, had Acme Markets not picked up and moved to a jurisdiction where they could lay off all their union workers and hire people for half the wages and half the benefits. But as my dad is approaching retirement, and he asks his son, who happens to be a member of Congress, to do his financial planning, that might be his first mistake, but I'm the one doing it, and I think a lot of families are in the same situation. The pillars of my dad's retirement are twofold. Social Security that he paid into over his entire life of working, and that pension.
That's right.
From Supermarkets Warehouse Local 169. Now, after 40 years of work, someone's going to come along and say that pension you paid into, that pension that you were promised, that pension that you gave up at the bargaining table, pay increases for year after year. Right. Now, at the end of your life, when you're most vulnerable and can no longer work, we're going to pull that rug from out underneath you. That is wrong. That is un-American, and we're not going to allow it to happen. One of the great advances of the 20th century was the pension. The reason why the 20th century was known as the American century, in part, was because America had the biggest middle class in the history of the world. Pensions, along with other provisions, helped make that happen. I am not going to be part of a Congress that in the 21st century is going to see that disappear, that is going to see the American middle class disappear. We will not allow that to happen. It is time to fight and keep our pensions and keep our American middle class.
Yes,
Thank you. I'm Tim Ryan from Akron and Youngstown, Ohio. I'm proud to be here with Senator Sanders. There we go. I'm proud to be here with Senator Sanders and support Senator Brown and Baldwin and my friend Marcy Kaptur. This is a huge issue in our community, and I think that the main point is what Senator Sanders said. If you're negotiating a contract, you are negotiating wages and benefits and all the rest, and you say, instead of paying me now, I want you to take some of this money and invest it or put it somewhere, and I want it when I can't work anymore, when I can't get in a truck and drive it for 8 hours across state lines in bad weather, and I want it back. Yes. That was the promise that's in this legislation, and that's the promise that was violated.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
Our obligation as legislators, because we are the only thing that stands between a system that's broken and the men and women who work in America. And so we have an obligation to stand up, step up, and do what's right and make sure that we get this fixed. It is a matter of respect. Because if we can't help people who play by the rules, work hard every single day, work weekends, miss soccer matches, miss baseball games, miss hanging out with their kids so that they could make a living and give their kids a better life. If we can't help them, what in the hell are we doing here? I want to share two brief stories, because these are people who call my office in Youngstown, Ohio. These aren't made up. This isn't a theoretical discussion. Someone called our office, worked for a freight and leaseway company for 42 years, delivering cars to the local auto plant. After the legislation passed, they get the letter. Anybody here get the letter? Yeah. And in the letter, he was informed his pension would be cut, but he'd be notified at some point as to what level, but it could be cut up to 110%, which means his pension would go from $3,200 a month to $2,000. He you're stealing $12,000 or $13,000 from this person. Another woman came in, the wife of a pensioner, worked for a variety of trucking companies in the Youngstown area, ended his employment. Similar letter that he got. He is currently receiving $3,000 a month, and he could be dramatically reduced again down to $2,000 or less a month. I'm proud to stand up here with the senator and my fellow colleagues from the House. We got a lot of work to do, but this comes down to the fact, are we going to respect the worker? Are we going to continue to have a Congress that caters to the top 1% and the people who just move money around for a living? And I think you know where we stand up here. Thank you.